Hey guys, before starting this video, I want to let you guys know what is the real goal behind this project. So, and what are all the prerequisites that we need to finish this project, okay? So first, what is the real goal? So the real goal is we are going to create a real cybersecurity attack which is going to automatically detected and enriched with threat intelligence and automatically create a ticket for that event and assign an analyst. Okay, everything is going to be automated, and the prerequisites mainly you need to have a laptop, and in that laptop we need to download VirtualBox, and in the VirtualBox we need to install and configure Windows 11 Pro. When I say Pro, we need I will say everything about how to install that Windows 11 Pro on that VM. After that, we need to install Sysmon as well as a malicious program in that VM. And once we have done everything in the VirtualBox, we need to have launch two servers or instances in AWS. So for that, AWS is providing free credits, $100 I guess. So that's enough for us. And in one server for one instance is mainly for Wazuh, and the another instance is mainly for Hive. So we are going to install and configure in both of these instances. And then we need Shuffle. So mainly Shuffle is a SOAR platform, which I will tell you how to do that everything in this video. So without wasting your time, let's start.
By opening the preferred browser and type VirtualBox download and click whatever link, but I'm clicking the first link. After that, download VirtualBox based on your OS. So I'm downloading for my Windows host. I already downloaded VirtualBox on my desktop, so I'm canceling it. As you can see in the desktop, there's VirtualBox right there, and there are two machines which I already downloaded. So now we need to download Windows 11 ISO image. For that, type Windows 11 ISO and click on the first link, and we can install Windows 11 ISO image through three methods. Right now we are downloading it by the second method, create Windows 11 installation media. Just click download now, and once it downloaded, click on that executable file and it will open. If you can read, if you can read, I'm clicking next and next. The one thing is, click on ISO file and next, and save it in a folder, and make sure you remember that folder. And it could take 2 to 10 minutes to download. Once it is downloaded, it is so for me it's downloaded in downloads folder. And once it's downloaded, you can click on home in the VirtualBox, and click new, and in this wizard just type Windows 11 Pro, which is the name of our VM, and then the location of that ISO image. So for me, I have downloaded it in downloads folder, so I selected that. So for most of you guys, this box will be checked, so make sure that box is unchecked. Okay, that's the main thing. That's the main thing, as I'm saying. And choose Windows 11, and for hardware, as for the RAM, it should be 8 GB is better. So 8 GB of RAM, and 4 CPU or 3 CPU, and for make let's say it is 80 GB is enough. And click on start. So for the first start, it could take some time, so be patient. And once it is started, click on next, next. Yes, click on the checkbox, and next. I don't have a product key, and this could take 2 minutes or so. And after that, make sure you select Windows 11 Pro. This is the most important thing. Don't choose any other, just choose Windows 11 Pro. After that, read it if you want. Please wait, select your drive, click on next, or install, sorry. Installing Windows 11, this could take 10 minutes or so. Be patient, guys. Once it is installed, it could the wizard pops up. You can choose your region. I'm from United States, and for keyboard I'm choosing English India. Skip. Now so for to name my device, I'm naming it as Windows 11 Pro. After that, next, or you can choose skip for now. Setup for personal use. Windows 11 only installs if you sign up, so make sure you sign up with your account, or create an account if you want. Once it is created or successfully logged in, open Microsoft Edge and continue without Google and confirm and start browsing. Once it has been opened, so we need to download Sysmon first. So just type Sysmon and click on the first link, or in the website, uh, download Sysmon. Click on that link, that link, and it will be downloaded. It's a small file, and once the file is actually downloaded, it will be in downloads folder. Extract it, extract all, extract it in the downloads folder itself. And in here you can see sysmon64.exe, and the next step is going to we need a configuration file. So we type sysmon config olaf and click on the GitHub link. Once you're in the GitHub link, you will see that there will be here it is, sysmon config.xml. Click that, click on that raw button on the top right. Once you are in there, right click, save as, and make sure you are in that Sysmon folder and just save. Once the file is saved, now we need to open PowerShell in that exact folder. So open PowerShell as administrator, and just go to that exact location, copy that location by CD, and CD, right click, enter, and type this Sysmon 64 tab. Why it is not arriving? Okay, and then the config file Sysmon die is supposed for install, config.xml. So enter, it would a wizard pops up. In there, agree. If you want to read, you can read. And as you can see, Sysmon is actually started. So we need to go to event viewer. For the first for someone doing this for their first time, this could take a bit longer because the virtual machine itself is slow, and you are just going to new places to download, so it could take a little more seconds for you guys to download, even though it's very simple. Once you are in the event viewer, go to the application folder and go open that Microsoft folder, Windows, and in here there will be huge. Scroll through the scroll to the bottom, and you can find Sysmon in there. As you can see, click on operational, which means Sysmon is successfully installed and configured, and there are a lot of logs related to Sysmon events. So once after we successfully created Sysmon, installed and configured Sysmon, we need to create two servers. So for that, I chose AWS for this because I already know how to use AWS. So for you guys, I would suggest you to learn about AWS in YouTube or in ChatGPT. So as you can see, I already got $120 USD for so for the first sign up you would get $100. So for this project, click on EC2. That is how you deploy a server in AWS. Once you are in EC2, click on instances or launch instance. So before that we need to create keeper. So keeper is like you know for in other cloud providers we need to create username and password. For in AWS we create a key pair, which is a private key which is going to store in our own laptop, which we need to put in every SSH session so that we can SSH into that particular server. So for this keeper I'm putting a name like SOC Automation. After that, okay, RSA is enough, and yeah, you can create a key by this. As I said, you guys need to use this whenever you are SSH into a particular server in AWS. So create key pair, and once the key pair is successfully created, the next step is going to be, this key pair is going to be downloaded. This download is will only happen once. So once it is downloaded, make sure you copy it and save it in a secure folder which is structured properly, not in downloads folder, because downloads folder is just messy. So I came to documentation and created a new folder, SOC Automation Lab or project, whatever you want, and save it there. So let's create another folder, G folder AWS. And once that folder is created, paste that key in there. After that, now let's go and create the two servers. Before that, we also need to create another thing, one more thing, that is security groups. So security groups is also very much important. So as you can see, I have created a security group for my previous project, which is CSPM, which is Cloud Security Posture Management. So for this project, create a security group for Wazuh. Wazuh is a endpoint EDR as well as a SIEM tool. So for this Wazuh, we are going to create a security group, and the description you can type whatever you want. And as I said, we need to create a security group for. So security group can act, let's say, can act like a firewall. We are configuring security groups to like which ports needs to open for inbound, which ports are used for outbound, like that. So for inbound, SSH session port 22 and my IP, which is my laptop's IP, is the only IP which can SSH into the session. So it's like configuring firewall. And in here for HTTP we are HTTPS. I must HTTP or HTTPS, HTTP, and that IP can be any like whatever IP, and custom TCP I configured that port number 1514. You will get it like why I did that, because those two ports needs to be open for our Wazuh EDR. So after that, the outbound role, like that, yeah, it can be default settings. No worries on that. Once that security group is created, as you can see, what security group we created. And after this we need to create, so I did a mistake, right? I didn't select HTTPS, I selected HTTP. So we want to change that. So in HTTP, make sure we delete it, add a rule, change it from custom TCP to HTTPS. As I said earlier, HTTPS is secure, HTTP is not secure. For this project, that can be whatever it want, but make sure it's HTTPS and anywhere IPv4, which is enough, and save. Once it is saved, you need to create another security group for Hive server. We can do it later. um, for now we need to create an instance. Instance is like a server in other cloud providers. They will say server or something like that. So the server name is Wazuh server, and I choose Ubuntu as the operating system in the server. And AWS provides a good amount of free tier uh, you know computing powers, so make sure you choose 2 CPU and 8 gigabytes of RAM. 8 gigabytes of RAM, make sure you select that, and click on the yellow box. And for the Ubuntu you need to choose 24. I forgot to say the key pair. Select the key pair we created, and yeah, this is what I'm saying. So make sure you select 2 CPU and 8 gigabytes of RAM, and after that choose that. And it was we created a security group, right? So that security group, and make sure that is 100 gigabytes. AWS provides a significant amount of credits, so we can use that, and just launch instance. We have successfully now created the Wazuh server, and as you can see, it's running properly. Wazuh server, it's running absolutely properly. And once that has been installed, like created and started running, the next step is, why it is not showing? It shows. Yeah, in here we need to like open a PowerShell window. We need to like check if we can SSH into that server. So for that we need to go to type this exact command, SSH install that key, and then the Ubuntu at dot like the IP, and then it will ask for yes no, just type yes, and then I type sudo I to change my account to root. Once it is done, make sure you do this step, apt update, and once that's done, do apt upgrade dash y. Once that too is done, our Wazuh server is working properly now. As you can see, the RAM is remaining. We have plenty of RAM remaining, and we can see like which are the processors which are been running, and the percentage of how many storage we have used. We have used only 2 gigabytes. That's great. And for now we need to download the Wazuh install.exe. Use this command, curl that command, and once that is downloaded, ls, and install that with bash Wazuh install.sh. Make sure you copy this user and password into a neat file, because otherwise you would need to do this step every now and then. This password and user name is important when you log in using browser, so make sure it is saved in our previously created folder for this project. So create a text document, was our user and password. Once that's done, open it, paste it. Okay, that's it. So once that's been pasted, now we need to create and configure our Hive server. Okay, make sure the public IP, make sure it is uh, the public IP is, now we need to like type https dot colon forward slash slash that public IP and proceed to it will say it is unsafe, just proceed. After that the Wazuh page would open, and in this page what you guys need to do, you need to type that uh, you know username and password which you copy pasted in that particular file. That's why I pasted this password into that file, because we need to do this often and that need to be stored in a very secure place so that we won't forget and we can easily get that password. Once that is done, and once we are in here, we are now successfully like configured the Wazuh server and installed Wazuh. That's milestone 1, because we installed VirtualBox, created a server in AWS and started the Wazuh dashboard. And in that SSH session, make sure you status check the Wazuh manager. And as I said, this manager is actively running and nothing to worry about. And just so since we checked the manager, we need to check whether dashboard works properly. Dashboard space enter and space enter, and this is also actively running, so dashboard works properly. And now we need to do indexer. So I will explain what is indexer in a bit. That too running perfectly fine. Once that is done, we need to create a server for Hive. So for that we need to create a security group for Hive, as we have created security group for Wazuh server. So create security group and whatever name you want. I choose Hive. I typed Hive. SG description, your wish. You can type whatever you want, bro. And once that's done, click on inbound rule. So as I said, inbound rule or security group is basically like a firewall. Make sure you choose my IP. You choose my IP, because which only allows your computer's IP address, not particularly your computer's. It's your provider's IP. Your computer's IP is a private IP, and once that is done, create security policy. And once that is created, you can now create that Hive server. So for that, the security policy created perfectly fine. So once our security policy is created, go to instances and create new instance. It's like creating a server, and name it Hive server or whatever you want. Hive server, and I'm choosing Ubuntu as the operating system in that. Make sure you're choosing 24.04 LTS, because that is more stable. Why am my computer get heating up lately? It's because of VirtualBox, I guess. Once that is Ubuntu is configured, now for the instance type, make sure you choose 2 CPUs and 8 gigabytes of RAM. And for select existing key, and the security group, select existing security group, and the security group for Hive we have created. And for the key, we have our own key, but that is about where is that key. Make sure it is 100 gigabytes of 100 gigabytes of storage, because AWS provides very good amount of credits for us. And it is successfully started running. That's great. Once that is done, open PowerShell. Let's log into that Hive server. Go to that SOC automation and copy that path for that key. Control C and CD into that folder and SSH. And then the key Ubuntu at the public and the public IP of the Hive server, and copy that, paste it and click on like type enter, just hit enter, and yes, and it is taking a little bit long, and type sudo dash I to change the account into root for full power. And now, just like we did for Wazuh, apt update and apt upgrade for the Hive server so that it run properly. Okay, just type apt update and click on enter. It could take a few minutes, a few seconds, and apt upgrade dash y, hit on enter, and it is done. And now we need to check if the RAM and the storage is properly we have properly. So I forgot to tell you that I have done a major mistake here. So as you can see, Java version is not installed, so we have installed Java. I have done a major mistake there. So the thing is, I have so for that exact mistake, so I have downloaded Java 17, right? So for that particular reason, I have encountered a serious problem, which is like incompatibility. Not incompatibility, it is compatibility. So the Hive server and the Cassandra and the Hive is not work properly on Java 17. So we need to install Java 11. So but I installed Java 17 and I encountered a major problem. It took me so much amount of time. So because there is no proper installation or configuration guide on how to download that, I just followed a random script and going on from here to there to there to here. And I urge you to not follow the steps in this video, but I will provide a detailed steps configuring and installing, how to do that, how to configure and install uh, Cassandra, Java, Elasticsearch, and the in the Hive server properly, so that everything works properly. And paste that file in the description so you could follow. So I randomly moved through lot of steps from this exact website, um, docs.strangebee.com. I followed it. Not only I followed from this website, I followed from other website as well, because this website has some problem. When I simply followed this website, it has some outdated content, so that made some problems for me. And I go back to ChatGPT for the solution, and go back to some other websites for solution, and it's total mess. But you can follow this for installing and configuring Elasticsearch. But for Cassandra and Java, make sure you follow the steps which I'm going to provide in the description. Okay, and as I said, that's the Elasticsearch for this is pretty good, but I've encountered a major problem, major problem. At last, I have done every single steps from like so many different websites. I followed steps, and lastly, you know, I just solved the issue. And still, Cassandra is not automatically starting. I manually need to start Cassandra, That is because I previously downloaded Cassandra using Java 17. That causes that, and I pasted in here. I forgot to mention Elastic's username and password, which got given by the SSH session. And now once you successfully configured the Hive and installed everything, you can go into that Hive server actually. So I will provide a detailed step-by-step on how to configure and install everything on the Hive server. So make sure you follow that. That is correct. As you can see into the sidebar, look at that right sidebar. There are a lot of chats. I came back and forth from this website to multiple websites and to that ChatGPT. ChatGPT somewhere it do well if we provide important context. It could give you like good answers. As you can see in in this shell, everything is running properly. Elasticsearch is running properly. Cassandra, as I said, Cassandra I manually uh, started running in that other terminal. Now, as you can see, everything is green, active running, and once that is run properly, everything is running properly. You can start the Hive in the browser. So this website is actually pretty good when it comes to like guiding us to download Elasticsearch, but it it has some problems in it. It has, as you can see, Cassandra I manually started, so it needs to automatically start. But I will provide you guys with detailed description on how to do that, and it's mind bending and it's really like increased my stress. And once that is done, like you can go to that Hive server using your public IP of that Hive server and use this username, which is default for everyone if you install Hive and configure it properly. Once you log in, okay, I know my password is weak. You're successfully in that Hive application. So actually Hive is a ticketing system. It just gives you ticket for, if a certain alert is triggered, you need to manage that, something like that. It's a ticketing, it's a case management, like a ticket management thing, okay? And now open our Windows machine or Windows 11 Pro machine once again. But before that, let's go to our PowerShell. So you may ask, why am I doing this again? Because I randomly stopped my AWS instant, so it stopped because I stopped it. So once again SSH ing into that server. Is that the correct sentence? I don't know. And I'm choosing that IP public IP address. Type yes. Once that's done, make sure your root, you have root access, your root. And once that's done, go to your virtual machine. I created this virtual machine, Windows 11 virtual machine, using my account, because installing Windows 11 virtual machines require, I don't know why it requires account, but Windows 10 doesn't need account. We can just create how many virtual machines we want, and once the machine started properly, make sure our security groups, everything performs well. uh, and now once we are in this virtual machine, go to that Microsoft Edge, and we need to download a malicious program. But before that, let's reopen that Wazuh manager in Wazuh, whatever, Wazuh manager, because I randomly stopped it, as I said. Once that's done, why am I doing this is because we need to deploy an agent into this Windows 11 virtual machine to start sending telemetry into our Wazuh server, because telemetry is like sending data of what we are doing in that virtual machine to the you know to the server, which is our Wazuh manager. So log into that Wazuh manager in Windows 11 virtual machine. It is not logging properly. And yeah, once it is done, like click on something different. Why my computer is becoming too hot? Something running in the background. Make sure your two ports are open. So as I said, I will explain later. So these two ports need to open because these two ports need to open in our server. So that's how our agent is going to send data. That's where, okay, our agent is going to send that data to that particular port. So once you are in that Wazuh manager, click deploy new agent and choose your operating system. So now we are creating an agent for this Windows machine. So I'm choosing Windows, and for that address, you need to give that address of the Wazuh server. Just copy paste, and agent name can be Wazuh agent, or you can name it whatever you want. And click this, like copy this command, like invoke something like that. Just copy it and open PowerShell in this virtual machine and paste it, so that now we got, so it will take 10 to 20 minutes to download. After that a wizard opens. So just you can just click on next and follow the default settings. But in here too I made a huge mistake. That is, I downloaded the installer, but the installer doesn't have a .msi extension, so we are renaming it and giving it the .msi extension. And I then started that you know like executing that MSI application, because previously that .msi extension is not there. Click on yes and check that box. Finish. Yes. Now the Windows 11 VM has successfully have Wazuh agent, but before that we need to configure it to have that IP address, manager's IP address, which is our Wazuh server public IP. You can copy that from the browser HTTP, as well as from the uh, before that we need to get our key also. For this, go to that exact file and click on type A, and now name that Wazuh agent, and That name needs to be same, I guess, because I never named it differently. Let's do it as a same name and just enter it and enter. And the IP address of the agent, we can name it any. And once that agent is created in that manager, we need to get extract the key. Just type E to extract it. 001 for that agent ID, and the key is successfully extracted. Copy it and paste it into that wizard. Where is that wizard? Here it is. Paste it into that key in that section, and for that IP, manager IP, as I said, manager IP is simply our Wazuh server's public address, which is our manager apparently. Just save. Okay. Once that is done, you can go to services. Just click it and type W, and you can see Wazuh is not running. Right click it, start it. Now it's running. So it is now properly running. As you can see in the Wazuh manager in the browser, you can see an active agent is there. Once that is done, it's a major milestone. We have successfully configured and installed a Wazuh agent in that via Windows VM, and we can receive telemetry by going into that Explore Discover. You can see there are a lot of logs coming into that manager, and you can see there's no Sysmon logs in it. You may ask why, because we never configured the Wazuh agent to send Sysmon files into that manager. So for that, what we need to do is we need to go to this exact location where our Wazuh agent is, and .conf file, osec.conf. Make sure you create a backup file, because sometimes you may break things in osec.conf configuration file, which is one of the important files in every SIEM or EDR tool, which is used to like send telemetry, or how like the behavior. We can change the behavior of that tool by configuring the conf file. Once that is done, open that conf file, original conf file, and we are going to alter it a bit. So for that, we need to open Notepad. Make sure you open Notepad as an administrator. That is quite important. Run as administrator. Yeah. And open, and go to that exact location where that osec.conf, that is like OSSEC, that's how to say, but I'm saying it like this. Open that file. We are going to alter it to send Sysmon logs into that Wazuh manager. So for that, we can remove these lines. We can remove this, and we can remove this whole thing. Um, why it's not removed? It's already removed. Copy this exact, or just change that into. Now go to event viewer first, because we need to copy the location of that Sysmon operational logs where that exactly is. So for that, you need to go to event viewer and open application and application folder. Event viewer takes a little time to open properly, open that application folder, open Microsoft, Windows, scroll all the way down until you see Sysmon. Okay, click on operational, right click it, properties, copy the full path of the Sysmon log and just paste it there. Once that is done, you now successfully configure that ossec.conf. Okay, now then we can now see telemetries. So for security purposes, I once again go and check whether that ossec.conf file is successfully saved, what we have configured earlier. It is saved, and now close that, open services, whether our Wazuh agent is running. Yep, it is running. No worries on that, but make sure you restart it once you configure that ossec.conf file, because that's one of the major mistake that I did. And now when you type sysmon in the search head, now as you can see there are a huge number of hits in here, but you need to type sysmon in the search head and click on enter. As you can see there are 64 hits from Sysmon logs. So now we have successfully done this process. Now what we need to do is we need to install a malicious program, but before that close all this, because we successfully have got that Sysmon logs into our Wazuh manager. Before now let's go, but before downloading that malicious program we need to turn off the Windows security. Open Windows security, virus and threat protection. Why it is slow? Virus and threat protection, open that, manage settings, turn off. Yep, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off. Everything's been turned off, and now we can install the malicious program, which is called Mimikatz. So Mimikatz is a program which is used to steal credentials, authentication credentials like passwords. So you can learn about that. So we need to download Gentikiwi's Mimikatz. Just for educational purposes, this guy has a good Mimikatz zip file. Go to code tab, scroll down, click on this exact link. It will say this is dangerous. Yes, I know it is dangerous. Just continue and download that Mimikatz trunk.zip. It will download. This could take a minute, not even a minute. Okay, see more. Click on click on that blue actually three dots. Keep and keep anyway. Open that file, extract it. Extract. Where is that? Downloads. Extract. Extract all. Extract. In that downloads folder. And now we have. Go to x64. Now, as you can see, we have successfully have the Mimikatz application, and right click and open PowerShell right in here. Now let's see if our manager got hit by this Mimikatz execution. Why Mimikatz.exe. Let's see if we got a hit. Why? Even though we like stop Windows security, how does that found threats? We need to do something. So now, right now, we just executed our Mimikatz. Now let's go to like for education purposes, you can search Mimikatz. What is Mimikatz? As I said, Mimikatz and oh, it's like as I said, as you can see, it's a stealer to extract authentication credentials from Windows systems. That's what it does. Most of the antivirus systems, as well as our default systems, can easily find Mimikatz. It's a very simple program, and when you type say Mimikatz in the search cat, and you can see no results. Why? We never created a rule to capture that Mimikatz into like and store it in that Wazuh alerts index, as you can see. So now the Mimikatz log is going into is storing in that archives log. So only Sysmon logs we have configured in the Wazuh agent to send. So since Sysmon logs like contain that things like Mimikatz execution, but we need to create you know a rule to capture that Mimikatz execution and store it in that index. So index is like a like structured database. So open that exact file which I typed and make sure for most of you guys these two lines will display as no. So make sure it is changed to yes. That is one of the major steps that you guys need to follow. Once that's done, Control O, enter Control X. We configured the manager a bit, and now what we need to do is we need to go to another folder, cd VirusTotal logs archives. This is where our Mimikatz logs is going. Okay, as you can see, Mimikatz archives.log and archives.json have tremendous amount of files in it. Like the storage is a bit high, the size is a bit high. So when you change that in the Wazuh manager from Wazuh alerts to Wazuh archives and search in that search head Mimikatz, you will find Mimikatz logs. So how to configure? So we need to type this exact command and change that file to send alert and store that alert in that index. So before that, let's configure the file bit, and in here, um, as you can see, it is enabled is set to false. Make sure that is true. It needs to be enabled, not disabled. Control O, enter Control X after that, reboot it, not restart it, no, restart it, restart file bit services, and once it's restarted, now the main thing, we need to configure our Wazuh manager in order to collect that malicious execution of Mimikatz and store it into that alerts log. So for that we need to go to database management, go to dashboard management and click on index patterns. We are creating a separate index. Click on create new index. As I said, Wazuh archives is where Mimikatz is sending that logs. No, the Windows VM is sending that logs where the Mimikatz execution happened. So the timestamp, click on timestamp and create index. Choose timestamp and create index. Okay. As you can see now in the explore discover option, drop down, click on that drop down. As you can see, we have Wazuh archives and select in the explore discover. Make sure many of you guys don't know how to use Wazuh. Make sure you click Wazuh archives. Archives is where the unofficial execution are getting stored. And now it got huge number of hits. It is the total hits, I guess. And in there, once if we execute it, as you can see, our Windows security deleted that Mimikatz application. How does it do that? Even though we like turn off that Windows security. So we need to extract it once again and re-execute that Mimikatz.exe to get that right-click browser Mimikatz.exe. Still, how does it find? And now when you search in the search field Mimikatz, it will find the hit. As I said, 6 hits. So it is storing that logs in the archives folder. So in order for us to capture it in that alert, we need to configure the rule so that it could so that the alert could get triggered and the log can store in the Wazuh alerts. So what we are doing is we are isolating a separate folder for Windows security to not scan. Add folder. I'm choosing full C folder. Yeah, I mean don't ever try to scan that, bro. Even though it turned that off, it still does that. That is very bad for our body. But that's good. Now, Windows security nowadays is pretty good. Now the Mimikatz has been successfully extracted and done. And what we need to do, uh, we can execute it to check or yeah, already checked it, right? So why do we need to go back? Now we need to do like we need to configure that rules. So for that, go to that rules section to capture that Mimikatz execution into the Wazuh alerts index. So index is basically a structured database, like what logs need to be there, like that. Custom rules and local click local rules dot xml. We are going to alter it so that it could, you know, properly the Wazuh alerts will properly get that Mimikatz execution. Now I successfully typed it and make sure save it. And the one thing that is very important, that is we need to restart the Wazuh manager once again. If we do not do that, it will not capture that. Make sure you copy it because sometimes it will not work and our rule will go forever if we not copied. Then we need to type it once again, so I copied it. And now we need to restart the just like we restart FileBit, we need to restart Wazuh manager. Wazuh manager dot service. And now what you may ask, wait for a few minutes and reload that Wazuh manager dashboard browser in the browser. It's taking a bit long, Wazuh manager, and we need to reload it. Before that, we need to execute our Mimikatz execution once again to see if the Wazuh alerts capture the Mimikatz execution. To capture the Mimikatz execution. So for that, we are rerunning it, and discover. But before that, we need to reload. I forgot to reload. You can see if it doesn't reload, the Mimikatz doesn't appear because we recently only configured that was our alerts. So reload it. Make sure you type the username and password once again. I just skipped that because um, that is like time consuming. And now you can see in the Wazuh alert index, you can now see one hit by Mimikatz. So that means we successfully configured that was our rule. Okay. Now what we need to do is the final step. We need to open that shuffle workplace. Shuffle is the SOAR, security, orchestration, automation, and response. Okay, name it, like click workflow and name it whatever you want. I name it SOC automation. Once that is done, so if we need to explain, like we need to servers from AWS and a virtual machine, Windows 11 virtual machine specifically, and a virtual box. And now you don't need to download anything, you just go and go to shuffle.com, shuffler.io, sorry, and just sign up. That's it. And in here, once you are in here, first step you need to create webhook. Webhook is basically just like you're getting the telemetry from the Wazuh manager or the you know manager into the SOAR platform. We are getting that rule. So we have successfully configured the rule and we got alert by that rule. And if we got hit by that rule, we are sending that log to the SOAR. So it's like a neat diagram. So for that we need to configure and alter this exact file and create this like integration in here. Type this exactly. I will just paste it there. As I said, all that configuration steps are going to be in the description because that is a major mind stressful thing that every individual would encounter. So I make it easy for you guys to follow that. And once that has been successfully, the integration policy is successfully created. As I said, integration, hook URL, rule ID, and that's it. And Control O, enter Control X. After that, we configured that, and now we need to restart it once again. Also, manager need to restart it so that it could send that log into that source integrate integrate well. Okay, once that is done, let's see if once again if we execute that Mimikatz in our Windows 11, let's see if that SOAR system can capture that log. Let's see. Uh, right click shift, hold shift and right click. That's how you open PowerShell in this way. And type Mimikatz. Now our logs which can hit Wazuh server, as you can see, two hits now. So let's see if our SOAR captured it. We need to go to, in the workspace. Oh shit, we forgot to start that webhook URL. We need to do that once again, bro. There are some additional details that we want. So we need to do that once again. We need to execute that Mimikatz once again. We do that once again. Let's see if our SOAR can capture that tool. Yep. But 1 plus 0, I mean, that is not correct. We need to have that blue icon in it. Let's see and configure. Let's see what we have configured. Go to that exact file. What file we configured that exact file, what, that nano file. As you can see, the rule ID, I made a mistake there. There are only 4 zeros in the rule ID we created in previously in that for the Wazuh manager, but now in here we have 5 zeros. One small mistake can make a huge impact. So make sure you doesn't do that. Once that is done, let's rerun it once again. Rerun it. Now I hope now the blue icon is finally showing, which means our webhook is working properly. Like I said, our title and the description, everything is there. And now I will tell you what are all the other tools that we want to put in this workflow to make sure the automation works best. Okay, so for that first we need to put shuffle tools, and after that we need to put VirusTotal. In VirusTotal, we need to authenticate and authorize. Email, and finally TheHive. What is that email? Finally the email. Previously, I have done this project before, so the email application is not works properly. So let's arrange it. And the shuffle tools, we need to extract that regex pattern only from the logs. So for that, we need to click on the plus icon and no, nothing. Plus icon doesn't contain anything. So what we need to do is we need to type SOC 256 equals to I don't know how exactly open parenthesis brackets 0 to 9 capital F actually. As I said, regular expression is actually easy, but I haven't used a lot lately, so A to F, capital A to F and small a to F, and close the square brackets and the parenthesis and the parenthesis. Once that is done, once that is done, next you need to configure that regex. So for that, click on the plus icon and why plus doesn't work. Go to runtime arguments. Go down and choose hashes. Where is hashes? Where is that hashes? Here it is hashes. What? Why there are three exec here? We need to only choose hashes. So runtime argument hashes and once that's done, we need to add API key from VirusTotal. So for that, we need to sign up and copy that API key, and we need to configure in the VirusTotal in the SOA or what in the shuffle workflow. Sorry. Add authentication key, paste the API key, just submit it. Make sure you post get a hash report, okay? Make sure you select that and like connect that node from shuffle tools to VirusTotal and I need to check whether this mic works or this mic works.